What is up, you guys? It's your boy Shady Luke back with another video. And today we're going to hop into the NFC West and just talk about the San Francisco 49ers, the team that finished last. And it's crazy. It's crazy with San Francisco, just the flip they had this last year. Because once Kyle Shanahan took over, you know, they had the couple seasons where they got good. Once they got good, they haven't been bad since. And we saw that this last year. I mean, even going into the 2024 season, you had people talking about CMC. You know, CMC, like, oh, he's fine. He's not going to be healthy in training camp, but like he'll be good. The language there was really weird just to begin with, straight up. I just was like, it's not healthy. And then you have the Brandon Ayuk stuff in the offseason, right? Brandon Ayuk's trying to get a new contract. So much drama, so many social media posts, all this stuff, just getting away from the game of football. And that's not what you want from a perspective as a team with all your players. And I know those players love Brandon Ayuk, but I mean, some of those players, come on, man, they're probably like, bro, like, come on, the offer's on the table, it's good money, just take it, bro. And I don't know, Ayuk just acted super immature. I didn't really like the way he handled it. But at the same time, I understand him. I'm like, bro, go get your bag. You know what I mean? Get your money. You can't be playing without, you know, any security. But we saw how that led into the season. Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL freak accident. CMC, he didn't start the first of the season. He came back. He got hurt. Tried to go to a specialist. Wouldn't guess or hope any injury upon any player in any type of way. But just the language and the way that they talked about CMC, you could tell that there was something going on there, right? And we saw how it played out. And I mean, along with that, on the offensive side, the defense just wasn't the same San Francisco defense I know. I mean, even dating back to Jim Harbaugh days through Shanahan, great defensive play. Like, we're like talking like top 5, top 7 defense every single year. They're that good. And you know, they went from Robert Saleh to DeMeco Ryans to Steve Wilks, who I thought was better than you guys say. Steve Wilks was not the reason they lost that Super Bowl. And, yeah, then you go to the guy that they had last year, and he just wasn't it, man. You could tell right off the bat that their players just weren't on that wavelength. I mean, that's the thing with San Francisco teams. It's defensive led. It's defensive led no matter what people tell you. Yes, Kyle Shanahan is the offensive guru, the guy. But if you look at their history, like I said, through Jim Harbaugh to Kyle Shanahan, they're a defensive led team. Like, yes, they have good offensive play, but they get it done with defense. And that just wasn't it last year on both ends, offense and defense. So now, going into the season, they get Robert Saleh back. And Robert Saleh, man, I mean, just look at this last year. Matt Eberflus got fired during the season. Robert Saleh got fired during the season. Robert Saleh is on another tier compared to Matt Eberflus, in my opinion. He's on another tier. Matt Eberflus is a good defensive coach, though. But Saleh's on another tier. The Jets were so good when he was the head coach. And then we saw them take a nosedive. Same thing that happened with the Bears. So with him going to San Francisco, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge for their team. And yeah, man, their defense is very, very interesting because they had people leave, you know, they had Charvarius Ward leave, they had Dre Greenlaw leave, and then you have Hufanga leave, and you know, Hargrave just didn't work out. And the thing that worries me about San Francisco, and this is something that I thought of this last year too. I honestly thought it was going to be an issue. Turned out being an issue, and it's probably going to be an issue this upcoming year as well. The depth just isn't there. I mean, dude, you watch this team, and this last year their defense was just a mess. But if you watched when Nick Bosa would have to take a break, teams, bro, they knew. They were like, all right, Bosa's out, Nick is out, let's pass. Let's do this and that. Their interior defensive line wasn't good at stopping the run this last season. Their defensive backfield was interesting because Diamador Lenore is he's a really good corner. I wouldn't rate him as high as some people do currently. I think there's some more to prove there, but he's showing really good signs, and he just signed that big contract too. And Malik Mustafa, I loved watching that kid play this last year. He's a thumper. That kid plays physical defense. So, you get rid of Fafunga, and now you have him back there. And yeah, man, their defensive backfield is interesting. They got a couple guys that have been around a year or two, but those are kind of like the head guys I'm watching this season. And it'll be interesting because Charvarius Ward is gone. You get rid of a starting corner of Charvarius Ward's level, he's better than people give him credit for. I mean, there's this thing that we do in the NFL. We do this top 10 corners, right? I do it more like a top 15. And when it comes to corners, it's a week-to-week basis for me. Because unless these guys are having a Darrelle Revis type season, locking down every single wide receiver, it's just a shuffle. It's just a shuffle of a group of a bunch of good corners. You know what I mean? And I put him, he literally, every year I watch that dude, he's playing top 10. You hear people argue with what he is, if he's elite, if he's not. I could care less. He's in top 10, top 12 every single week. Just go back and watch the film and watch him play DK Metcalf. Every time they play. It's like a 50-50 match straight up. We all know how big DK is, and that's no easy task for any type of corner to go up against DK Metcalf, right? So you got the defensive backfield with those guys, and they got D Winters with Fred Warner. You got a young guy looking for potential. Possibly he's a long-term starter alongside Fred Warner. And then with Nick Bosa, they just drafted another linebacker. I don't really know what they see in that kid. I guess we'll see this upcoming season. And so Saleh has all these young guys, right? And then we hop to the defensive line. So you got Nick Bosa, and then you look, they just traded for Bryce Huff. I guess we'll see how that works out with Bryce Huff. And then you got all these dudes that they drafted. I mean, their first 5 picks were all defensive, if I remember right, because they drafted in the first 5 selections. Of course, Micah Williams is first. And then I believe they went defensive tackle in the next round. And then it was corner or linebacker. And then they took another defensive lineman. So they took a corner, a linebacker, and 3 defensive linemen all in their first 5 selections. They're trying to retool that defensive line. And that's another thing with the depth. The depth is not there on this team. I could be wrong. It could be there. Just the way I look at it right now, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I don't know with the depth. And so it's just really interesting. And then, of course, we'll see what Saleh does with those young guys. If Saleh makes those young guys into a top 5, top 7 unit, I mean, we're talking major praise for San Francisco. I mean, some people talk about their defense as if they were horrible. They weren't horrible. Their run defense was bad, but it was if I remember right, looking at the rankings, it was right below average, right in the middle of the pack, between 15 and 18th. And then their pass defense was much better than people think. Their pass defense was better than you guys think. I'm telling you that right now. Just go and look at a statistical standpoint. Maybe the eye test didn't tell you that, but yeah, man, I'm oh, their defense, they got and tools. Then there's Kyle Shanahan and the offense. And let's get into the offense, man, because this last year, the offense, I didn't think they were terrible, but they didn't have CMC. Brandon Ayuk, of course, got hurt like we talked about. And I don't really... San Francisco's offensive line is average. They're literally average. But the one bright spot on their offensive line, I would say, is the rookie that... He was a rookie last year going into his second year. Dominic Pooney. He's good. He's a good guard. That's something they can build off of. We see how much guards get paid, just like tackles and centers. You know what I mean? Guards matter so much. It's just something for them to build off of. You know what I mean? You got you got Trent on the... Then you got Trent on the left side. And Trent is on the back end of his career. And Trent is still good, but man, you just have to worry about if he were to get hurt, right? He's getting older. His play isn't elite like it was before. He's still good. He's still good left tackle. But just watching him in the last year or two, you're seeing some of these younger defensive linemen kind of get to him a little bit. Like these younger defensive linemen that are more on the higher upside. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting. Freaking dog, dude. He has his green ball trying to squeak it while we're talking football. But their offensive line is a major question mark. Again, it goes back to depth. Their offensive line doesn't have good depth. And so, we got Brandon Ayuk. This is where it gets messy for San Francisco. Because Juwan Jennings just came out and basically said, there's reports from Ian Rapp and freaking Shefty saying that, he wants a new contract, or if you're not going to give him a new contract, he wants to get traded. There's teams that are interested in him. Just saw New England the other day. There's somebody that's interested. And it's just not ideal, especially with what we just heard. They just came out with a report. We're about to head into training camp for a bunch of teams. Brandon Ayuk is on the pup, and so is Ricky Pearsall. And the thing with Ricky Pearsall is, like, we were expecting Brandon Ayuk to be, a guy that was probably not, maybe not going to be there week one. He'll probably be, playing later in the season. Maybe he'll be there early. I don't know. But with Ricky Pearsall, again, it goes back to the language thing. Like, they talked about, his hamstring, you know what I mean? Like, his hamstring, he'll be fine for training camp, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. And now training camp is here. And Shanahan said that too. He's like, it's not the big... Dude, he's on the pup with Ayuk, and it's the same thing like CMC. It's just like, how bad is it? How bad is that soft tissue injury? Hamstrings linger. They linger, dude. It's something that could just be bothering him the whole season. It could bother him his whole career. And it's not like this dude is like a young wide receiver. Like, if I remember right, Ricky Pearsall, when they drafted him this last year, was he 24 or 25? He was 24 or 25 as a rookie. And he didn't get a lot of snaps to start out. He was better in the back end of the season, so that's positive. But these snaps in training camp for a first year, second, a first and second year player, it matters, even for the wide receiver position. So they just don't have that right now, and they're relying on, I see there's a lot of good talk around Jalen Watkins. Jalen Watkins is a speedy 4-3 wide receiver. That's always exciting. You just never know what you're getting with a guy with that type of speed. Then you got Jacob Cowing, who I did watch a San Fran game one time, and they gave him one deep ball, and I was like, that's a gadget wide receiver right there. Like, why doesn't Kyle use that guy? Heck if I know. But, so it's interesting. It's like, okay, well, George Kittle will be a guy that Brock is obviously going to go to. Hopefully they target George Kittle more and don't make him block as much, because George is still playing good right now, and we'll see. We'll have to see what happens with Juwan, because if Juwan doesn't play for some crazy reason, I don't know what their passing offense is going to be like. Like, if Juwan didn't end up playing, you just better hope that CMC is like somewhat of his old self, because things could get a little bit crazy. And the thing that's tough with their with just their offense also is that the defenses within that division, like the Cardinals are in an interesting situation, but Seattle, I expect Seattle to be better, and Seattle was good the back end of the season. They were good, right? And you got the Rams. The Rams also have a really good young defense. Those are two teams that they're going to be playing twice, and it should be interesting. I hope they get that Juwan Jennings situation figured out. If they don't get that figured out, I don't know how good that offense is going to be. I just don't, because I don't know what Ayuk is going to be like when he comes back. That's a big question mark, because Ayuk was, he's like mid, and it's like San Fran just signed him, and it's like, bro, what happened to you? You don't know what you're getting Ricky Pearsall, so you just hope that those young guys, again, it's just like the defensive line in a couple in the defensive backfield, goes back to these young guys. And the thing that worries me with San Francisco is Lynch and Shanahan. They haven't had the best drafts, man, and they've been getting kind of lucky in the later rounds with some players, but they've had some questionable drafts, especially with those higher draft picks. And those high draft picks in 1 and 2, or rounds 1 and 2, those are guys that you always get starters in the later rounds. But when you miss on so many first and second rounders, it will start to catch up to you. And that's kind of leading to like this whole like depth thing, man, because you just got to have depth to perform in the NFC. The talk is AFC is more quarterback driven, NFC is more team driven. It's true to a point. Like I don't agree with it completely, but it's true to a point. But Shanahan needs to rally this group together. Like if this offense isn't, if the defense is outshining the offense and the offense is just mid, I think questions are going to start to come towards Shanahan. I really do. I know people are like, his job's stable, he's not going anywhere. Okay, but just say you guys missed the playoffs and the offense is just I think questions are going to come there. I really do. So I guess we'll see. We'll see, man. I honestly think for San Francisco, I think their defense is going to be a top 8 unit. I'm not going to say top 5 right now. I think they're going to be a top 8 unit off my guess. Just because if you look at so many rankings, like their defense, statistically, they weren't as bad as you think. I feel like their offense kind of put them in some tough situations. But if you look at their defense and then their offense just needs to be solid to good. You look at their schedule. I think they should win 11 games. Here's the thing, though. There's a couple defensive coordinators in their schedule that I have seen give Shanahan problems. So that could be something to look for. Like that could lead to some problems for their offense. So yeah, I'm expecting 11 wins. That's my guess on San Francisco. Minimum 11 wins. Like if they're getting below that, I think questions should really start to arise for San Francisco. They're a good team, got a lot of young guys. They still got some core guys there. They should put on a show. They really should. Brock Purdy's a veteran quarterback at this point. Just got paid, bro. Anyways, guys, I don't know. Let me know what you think about San Francisco going into this season. Let me know what you think about Saleh. Just everything we talked about. San Francisco fans, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm way off or if I'm on point with some things. And other fans, let me know too in the comments. But be sure to like and subscribe and, come vibe with your boy. All we do here is talk football. Come tell me what you like to hear too. You know what I mean? But anyways, guys, it's your boy Shady Luke. I'm outie, and I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.